This is crazy, man. Let's just hear him out for a second.
There is no YouTuber more emulated than Mr. Beast. He has more impersonators than Elvis. If Mr. Beast was a Halloween costume, he'd be outselling Spider Man and Batman combined. There are so many clones of Mr. Beast in these days. It's like he's done a shadow clone jutsu, but every shadow clone that exists is just a worse version of the original now. And they're getting more and more degenerate. Today we're about to talk about an
He's the most
Italian
successful
Mr. Beast
YouTuber,
clone who recently just did a stunt that ended up killing a 5-year-old child. Now, this isn't
that's
just one person
that
emulating.
that's intense, man. That's when I started to press hit and record, cause oh my god, man, a 5-year-old child was killed by this. But I wanna hear him out. What
Mr.
does he have
Beast,
to
it's a
say?
group called The Borderline, and
The
in
borderline.
their About section on YouTube, they even name drop Mr. Beast, saying how inspired they were by his content, and they want to have that level of success as well. So if you go to their channel, you'll immediately see the Mr. Beast influence. They do basically the exact same content, even copying the thumbnails pretty much,
Yeah.
doing the classic Mr. Beast hand, the one where he's like coming out of the grave like this. Like they even do that, like Emperor
I see that.
Palpatine shooting lightning out of his fingertips for the thumbnail. Like that kind of shit, they
tippity
just
tips.
immediately
Fingertips.
lifted from Mr. Beast in order to try and suckle on the bosom of his success. And it's working. Mr. Beast truly did figure out the online content creation formula. Copying
It's all-
Mr. Beast is a cheat code and fast pass to success. They've got massive engagement as well for fundamentally just being a carbon copy of whatever Mr. Beast is doing. It reminds me of that old gag you used to see in cartoons where someone hops up on a photocopier and just keeps like printing up copies of their ass cheeks. That's what this channel did. Anytime Mr. Beast did a video, they did pretty much the exact same video, but since they're not English speaking, they get a different corner of that market that doesn't have the Mr. Beast videos being served to it. So it was a pretty smart business model. It just so happened
Yeah,
that they
Mr.
were
Beast did
also
talk about
extremely
it.
stupid douchebags that, for some reason, decided that it would be a good idea to risk the lives of everyone around them for their most recent video, which was spending 50 hours in a rented Lamborghini. Now, I called this a
50
stunt in the beginning because that's what a lot of people are calling it in the media. This
Okay.
isn't a stunt. Like, just being in a car for a long period of time, that's called a fucking road trip. Most people can do that without killing somebody.
So what
But
happened?
these assholes are so unbelievably reckless, dangerous, and dumb that they ended up having a head-on collision with another vehicle that killed a 5-year-old child. And it's entirely their fault because they were speeding around, driving recklessly like they were on the fucking set of Fast and Furious. And the big shtick that they were doing with this challenge was insulting other drivers and taunting them. That was one of the big things. They would taunt other drivers during all of this and filming in the car. So it's pretty clear that they were distracted driving and were being extremely dangerous and careless on the road, which led to this fatal car accident. Now, this is the driver of the vehicle who was behind the wheel during the crash, but he was not the only one in the car. The rest of the crew was also present as well, and it seems like they were filming all of this garbage, which eventually led to this crash.
Oh man, the thing is, I keep hearing about like YouTubers doing the most craziest and most extreme things, deranged things that end up disturbing other people's peaceful lives, peaceful days. To be honest with you, as it has gone as far as disturbing people's days, right? Disturbing somebody's week, month, whatever, but never someone's like entire life. Never someone's entire life. And maybe I might have heard of one or two stories where YouTubers have literally did something that caused a huge accident and whatnot. But you would think that some of these, I don't know, man. You would think somebody would be smart enough to be careful. And the driver's 20 years old, right? Oh my God, fucking hell, man! What the hell?
Crash. So he was the one driving, but there is a video from one of the other members here right before they got into the Lamborghini for this challenge.
Ah, raga, sta macchina va più veloce di Saetta McQueen. Che cos'è una Lamborghini e c'è vinco la Piston Cup? Andiamoci sopra, Jessica. Ma questo con la smart che sta facendo? Ah, bello, la macchina tua costa 300 euro usata al Conad, la mia costa 1 miliardo. Vale quanto Amazon.
I found this clip in Scott Schaefer's video, but I couldn't find the original upload of it anymore. So you can clearly see
deleted
the
everything,
attitude of what the video was supposed to convey. just shitting on all of the other cars in the road because they're in an expensive luxury car for 50 hours.
Yeah.
That was the whole video premise.
Yeah.
Wow. What a
crazy.
banger. I too remember the classic Mr. Beast video
Greed
where he
killed
went
him.
around calling everyone poor and making fun of them and spitting on them from the
craziest
comfort of
thing
his
is that
luxury vehicle.
Mr. Beast made everything super careful, makes everything super careful, and literally, like, you would even understand that some of the videos that he does, they do. I think the latest video is where it was, it was a very stupid but very exciting and smart idea. 1 year old versus 100-year-old, 1 year, who's gonna last longer or something like that. He probably took so many precautions. Like, it's unfathomable how much money he probably spent on them. That's literally what he does. He never does something crazy without without actually having assistance there, without having the proper conditions there to, like, assist people if anything ever goes wrong, or making sure that nothing ever goes wrong. He always makes sure nothing ever goes wrong. It's crazy to me that people who want to imitate Mr. Beast don't imitate that part. They just want to imitate the success. They never want to imitate the actual thing. Like, it's so crazy to me. I don't know.
That one's timeless. That's iconic Mr. Beast moment right there. I also find it impressive how he actually just looks like a douchebag. You don't even have to talk to him to know that he's extremely obnoxious. I went to look at a bit of their other content because I couldn't imagine he actually just sounds like this normally, because his voice sounds like 15 chain smokers all did a fusion dance together and then inhaled helium. Turns out that's exactly how he sounds. In his little Mr. Beast copycat group, he's just the one that is always screaming and making goofy faces and goofy voices.
Bro.
What a fucking loser. Now, according to authorities, what happened is the Borderline crew went to overtake a car at high speeds and then had the head-on collision with this vehicle that had a mother and her children in it, which unfortunately led to the loss of the life of the 5-year-old boy. The Italian Prime Minister came out and said that they will be losing their license for life during this investigation, and then said, if you're a repeat offender and take a person's life because you are a jerk behind the wheel, you don't see your license for the rest of your life. It's not like I suspend it for a few months. Meanwhile, other Italian lawmakers say the 5 YouTubers involved should also immediately have their social media account access taken away. And that's a picture of the mother and the 2 children. Now,
that's fucked up, man. That's crazy, man. That's really crazy. You're hearing these crazy YouTuber stories. It's nuts, man. It's like, people get blinded by the bright things, about, like, success and whatnot. It's like you're speeding around in a Lamborghini and you are literally marking other people as you are driving past them and overtaking them at a very high speed, over speed limit, probably, most likely. And you did not even have the right of way, but you literally decided to just continue speeding and continue taking over and overtaking. It's like, what the fuck, man? That's nuts.
Now, I don't know if it's just a cultural thing, but I feel like the word jerk here is not nearly a strong enough word to describe this evil group of douchebags.
Criminal.
Maybe jerk is like a really strong word in Italian culture. I don't know, but I feel like jerk doesn't really quite capture just how awful these people are here.
They're criminals.
This is a ridiculously dangerous thing to do, fucking driving recklessly while taunting drivers and filming
and that kid will never come back, bro.
Distracted driving.
That kid
will,
that's a 5-year-old
that's
child.
Not the behavior of a jerk. A jerk is someone that, like, double dips in the salsa at a Super Bowl party. This is an absolutely reckless danger menace to society.
How does he even get
this
these
is a piece of
stories, by the
shit.
way?
This whole group they're pieces of shit. Now, they did post this video yesterday, which is just a
Join Discovery Bank and experience.
Man,
the
damn,
most
I don't want to
valuable
join
rewards.
Discovery Bank. Stop.
25% off.
a still image letting everyone know that the Borderline, the band's breaking up here, basically, after this tragedy. And that's kind of where that's at the moment. It's still all under investigation as of right now. But man, it is fucking horrific. Taking the life of a 5-year-old boy because you were so clout hungry that you came up with this dumb challenge, which is a stupid challenge, by the way, of just staying in a car for 50 hours, that's really boring. But then not only that, you took a boring challenge and then made it dangerous by driving like an absolute asshole and putting everyone's life at risk on the road. And unfortunately, it did take a life. So it's just, the whole thing is terrible. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here isn't necessarily pertaining to the story itself, but just more so the group as a whole, the Mr. Beast copycats. I just find it so interesting how different times are where the dream job for a lot of people growing up, a lot of young people, is to be an internet content creator.
Yeah,
and this
but,
desire for
like,
social media attention is worth dying over or killing over. Like, this isn't
worth
the
doing
first
something
time
dangerous
like this has
over.
happened.
Worth being ignorant over. Worth being ignorant over. Even I would even add to that, or maybe just correct you. Worth being ignorant over, because like a lot of people don't even understand what goes into making content, what you need to do, what you need to anticipate in the future, the challenges and everything, the sadness about the reality that some things that you probably already like, you already enjoy, your passions and everything, probably won't be as successful as you doing something that, like, for example, someone like Mr. Beast does, and then you have people like this who literally go on social media and they're like, you know what, we would rather be copycats, copy success, copy how it is done and everything. And that's all they ever see. They never see the actual work behind it. They never see the actual passion behind it. They never see the precautions taken behind it. How people are passionate about being careful, but being passionate about just, dishing out content that everybody can enjoy without the cost of anyone's life or anyone's peace, for that matter. Literally, I would even dare say that Mr. Beast is probably more passionate, or as equally passionate, about making a very successful video than making a monetarily successful video. I'm not really sure if you understand what I mean there. I mean, like, the success of the video is never, the video is never a success if people's peace had to be taken away from that. If people had to, I don't know, become monsters. And that's literally being the meme behind Mr. Beast. He's probably like, he can't be this nice. He can't be this generous. There has to be something about him, right? So he's probably working people to death. His employees, he's probably working them to death. That's always been like the funny thing, is like, oh, behind the camera, Mr. Beast is this horrible, horrible individual. But no, you actually get to find out that no, Mr. Beast is actually a cool guy. He's actually a very nice guy. He's as nice as he is in the videos. I'm sure he has his flaws as well, but he is probably, the whole Mr. Beast company and YouTube channels probably, sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Embody who Mr. Beast is as a person. To be honest with you, he may not be that super interesting, but he thinks of the craziest things out there. He thinks of like, oh, this is what I can do. This is what I want to do. Because I can confidently say sometimes I probably wouldn't do some of the things that Mr. Beast is doing. If I had the money that Mr. Beast has, to be honest with you, if I had the means, because he didn't need the money. He didn't need the money before. He just needed to come up with a crazy YouTube video and whatnot, and then, continue from there. But I don't have the same mind as him, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what he does anyway. If I had his money, I wouldn't do what he does anyway, right? I probably would do something different, something similar, but never the same thing. That's what content creation is to me. That's what YouTube is to me. It's that gateway for me to do something that is totally me, something that reflects me. Because once I'm in my deathbed, man, I don't want to look back and look at the hard work that I did. No, I want to look at a reflection of myself within what I did. I want to create connections through me, through the things that I enjoy, through my own passions, through something that I came up with, through something that inspired me. I want to watch myself 10 years from now. I want to watch myself and be like, damn, look at this nigga be talking all the time. He never even cared if this thing was going to make him successful or not. He never even cared about that. That's what content creation is to me. I never understand people who use content creation as a hustle. To me, you're just like the corporate businesses that are out there. You are just one of the hive minds that are out there. You're out there for the money. You're not out there for the content. I understand the necessity of money. Don't get me wrong on that. But how the hell do you justify sacrificing your own dignity for the sake of money? And then you think you're better than other people out there, which, okay, I might be tripping there. I don't know if you think you're better, but to some degree, you probably think you're better because you value money more than you value anything else, to be honest with you. Pieces of ass, donkey ass shit. I'm not going to lie.
Unfortunately, it won't be the last either. Because as people get more and more hungry for these internet points, they get more and more extreme with the shit that they do and film to try and get the attention. And I just find it so fascinating how different that is than when I was growing up. Times have really changed in a big
times
way.
have
I remember
changed, bro.
growing up in elementary school, they would ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And most kids give, you know, the very standard answers of, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a firefighter. My answer was I wanted to be a professional basketball player and a professional football player at the same time.
Jeez.
I thought I could really be the next Michael Jordan, but instead of baseball on the side, I played football on the side. And make no mistake, I was close. I was right on the cusp of achieving that goal, that glory. But unfortunately, the Lord had to nerf me, and I never got my growth spurt. I stayed 5'6". But imagine the athletic specimen, the weapon I could have become if I did get a little taller. I was so close. But the point is,
it's just
that's really
couple of
changed.
inches.
Nowadays, most kids answer that question with they want to be a YouTuber. That's like the number one job occupation kids dream of. And for this group, they were living the dream. That by all metrics, they were extremely successful. But
Yeah.
they just kept getting more and more dangerous with the shit that they were doing for this
They effed up.
viral fame, these viral videos. And
They effed up.
then it led to this awful situation. It's just fucking sad. I have no sympathy for the YouTubers here. It is entirely their fault. They're old enough to know that what they were doing had very real risk
yeah,
involved. And I just feel horrible
Yeah.
for the mother and the surviving child. This is a traumatizing experience that I have no doubt will most likely haunt them for the rest of their lives. And
Bro.
I'm wishing them nothing but the best here. But yeah, fucking awful situation that I just wanted to talk about a little bit. That's really about it. So yeah.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy to me how people can just like risk everything for the sake of just having that one crazy video. Is like, man, we got lives to live, man. We got lives to live. It could have been any one of them. Any one of them could have been like, nah, you know what? This is too much. This is too far. You know, any one of them could have said that. Any one of them, bro. And if any one of them did say that and then still continue to work with them, still, it's their fault too. They're part of it. They're part to blame. And if anyone didn't say anything at all, then what a damn shame, bro. Here's the thing. The craziest thing here is that you, and I'm not trying to justify or trying to belittle the consequences of what they have done here, but people do make mistakes, right? People do make mistakes. Some of us, I think, have been fortunate enough to, for our mistakes to not have these dire consequences, for you to now permanently take away a life. And by a 5-year-old, bro, you're gonna live the rest of your life realizing that the person's life that you took away literally could have grown up. Like, when you're 50, you're gonna be thinking, oh, the kid could have been this age by now. We took away a life permanently. And our lives, obviously, their lives have changed. Obviously, man, they're gonna go to jail, bro. Period. They're gonna go to jail if they even decide to go through with that. If the people, if they decide to be charged with that, I guess, I don't know, but they might go to jail for the rest of their lives, or for a couple of years, life ruined, just like that. Or I don't know. Some people are sick in the head, bro. Sometimes some people might actually, this might direct their lives to living even more dangerous lives than they already live today. They might choose to do other crazy things in the future and whatnot. Who knows? It's crazy. The direction that life can take you sometimes is nuts. But at the end of the day, we can all agree on this. They were responsible for this thing. And nothing that they can do now can change the fact that they took somebody else's life away, bro. They can never do that. They can never do anything. There's nothing they wish more than to reverse the decisions that they have to. It's a nightmare, dog. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. To know that your actions have consequences, it's a nightmare. And so this is what I want to preach to all people right now, bro. Be wary of what you do. Be wary of what you do. We are not far beyond these people. We are not. You can make a mistake too that can cost someone's life if you decide to be stupid and reckless. I'm not saying everything that we do is stupid and reckless and can cause those kind of consequences. But those people, those guys, they just decided to do something real stupid. Now, many of us wouldn't go in the flipping highway or the road in general, speeding over the speed limit, cursing at other, having road rage. But I live in a country where taxi drivers literally overtake all the time, bro. And taxi drivers, by the way, are one of the biggest industries in this country. As a matter of fact, what am I talking about? In this continent, it's an empire. And they are almost all of them are reckless. Almost all of them are reckless. Oh my God, bro. There's people who do this stuff. There are people who risk people's lives willingly just because he's in a hurry. Just because maybe he just has, he's too super excited or too upset, too angry, so he's gonna speed around bro, it's like you got lives, bro. You're responsible for lives when you're on the road, whether you have passengers or you're just one person driving. The other people on the road, you can get them killed. There's so many incidents in South Africa where taxi drivers have had accidents. And the people that have passed away, not even taxi drivers, to be honest with you, but yeah, whatever. Taxi drivers are one of them. And the people that have died, and everybody else have perished except for the taxi drivers and other few survivors. The people who are not responsible for the speeding, dead. And then the person who was responsible, alive. Then they have to answer for that. They have to answer. And you would think that any one of these stories would warn other people to not do the same mistake, but they never do. It never does. And they all keep up with the news. They all keep up with the news. They all know what's happening around the world. They all know what's happening. They talk about it all the time. They know what's happening, but they don't really care. To be honest with you, they don't care. It's crazy.